Jay.
Jay!
Hi, I'm Jay.
Okay.
Are you back?
I'm back.
Good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
I obviously heard about what happened with your dad.
Sorry about your dad.
Coffee for the guy with the dead dad?
I'm Jay.
I'm Danny. My family's dog got out last night and I'm still looking for him.
Do you want to maybe go with me to get this package? We could hang up your flyers along the way.
Yeah, sure, I guess he's cute.
Oh my gosh, look out. I got you. Oh.
Sorry. But if I do go missing, his name is Jay.
Why don't we just ignore all the rules for today? Why don't we just say yes to every single thing? I'm just ready for something else, I guess.
But don't mess this one up. I like her.
I like her too.
I believe I saw your dog.
Where?
In a dream.
Did you happen to see my dad in your dream?
No, I did not. So, that means he's probably still dead.
I owe you some new sheets because I've been making sweet love all summer. I'm very good at it.
Welcome to the Longest Take podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Longest Take podcast. In today's episode, we are joined by Jon Hill. Jon Hill is an Emmy Award-winning producer and director living in Los Angeles. You can find him working at Fox Sports Digital as their director of creative video. He just finished his first feature film, Above the Clouds, which is playing film festivals across the world. Please welcome Jon Hill to today's episode. All right, so first things first, what are your top 5 favorite movies?
Oh man. Okay, so I knew this question was coming. So I'm one of those guys that it depends on the day, kind of thing. Like, what did I see recently, kind of thing.
Right.
But so what I'll do is I'm going to change the question slightly. I'm going to give you, because this answer I do have pretty figured out, is I'm going to do my top 5 comedies, which I think in general are my favorite movies. Right.
Right.
So we're going to start with number 1. I think the greatest movie ever created, Dumb and Dumber.
Beautiful
Dumb and Dumber.
choice.
It's just like when I look, and these are all the movies that obviously you could probably guess my age after all this, but to me, a movie is like, if I still quote this movie 30 years later, like regularly, it has to be my favorite movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's like quoting like the, I don't know what, but so I'm going Dumb and Dumber 1. 2 is usually Tommy Boy for me. Like, shout out Chris Farley. That one, it's like anytime you put on a coat and you instantly go fat guy with a little coat. You know what I mean? Like, that's another top. It's the most quotable. Another big quotable one, and I just saw this in theaters, which was really cool because I never saw it when I was a kid, is Spaceballs. Spaceballs just like nonstop. Like if I'm on a roller coaster, you're instantly like, I can't stop, we're going too fast. It's just like one of the most quotables. And then let's go. Number 4 is usually Friday, which I also just saw in theaters, and that was so much fun. Just like when I was a kid, I wore that VHS out. Like, literally could quote the first like 30 minutes of it, just like an all-timer. And then the 5th, I usually go Wet Hot American Summer. Like another one where it's just like, man, when that like DVD came out, like that was such an underground film too. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it in theaters. It's just like one of those that like, your buddy had this DVD that you had to go check out. And then it was just like, just one of the funniest movies that we like still literally, me and my dumb college friends still quote to this day, Right. So I'd probably say those 5. Honorable mention is like Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Classic.
I already gave you one Mel Brooks, so I usually go Wet Hot.
Right, and that's Cary Elwes. He plays
So
Robin Hood in that, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So funny. And don't judge me for this, but honestly, Wet Hot American Summer, I saw the Netflix sequel series before I saw the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Which is like ridiculous because there's so many references to the movie, and like, why would anybody jump into that first? I have no idea, but I love the humor of it. And when I watch the movie itself, I mean, it's consistent, but yeah, it's pretty funny. You definitely you navigate very much within like the, I'd say, early 2000s kind of comedy, right? That's kind of the thing going. Yeah.
Yep. Like I was like, I was born in 83, so I was hitting teenage years like when Dumb and Dumber came out. Like
Right.
I still like, I think it was maybe like my 6th grade birthday party. We all saw Dumb and Dumber, and like when he goes in the bathroom and has the diarrhea,
yeah.
like I've never in my life been in a situation where like the crowd has laughed louder.
Oh, wow.
Just a movie theater in the 90s filled with like a bunch of kids, like just throwing popcorn everywhere, just like absolute mayhem. And to this day, I still think that's up there with like one of the just like most fun experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine, because that scene is so ridiculous, but it's so funny. We don't even see too much of that in movies now. Well, I mean, when it comes to stuff like poop or fart jokes, I mean, that's kind of like, not a lot of people care much about that anymore, but the way they did it in that, it was just so funny. And the fact that it's Jeff Daniels, and he's such a serious actor outside of that.
It's crazy. it's insane. It's insane. Like Jim Carrey, like people I think forget his run of the 90s. Like we were me and a group chat talking about like the best comedians movies of all time, and we're kind of like debating. I think it was like Will Ferrell versus Adam Sandler was kind of the battle, right? Like who had the better movies, who had the better comedy specials, who was better on SNL and all that stuff. And it was like no one topped like Jim Carrey. Like from Living Color to Dumb and Dumber to The Mask to I'm missing one. But yeah, like Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, yeah. That was
Ace Ventura 1 and 2. Like his 95 to 96 run was just like the most remarkable thing. And then you throw in Truman Show and all these other like dramas, and yeah,
and it continues like through the early to later 2000s up to like 2010. Jim Carrey was still, Yes Man, I think, was around 2010, right? So he boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, he's still, it's great. Like, I think it was like, basically you had like Eddie Murphy and him. Those are the runs, Maybe Will Ferrell's run, Adam Sandler's run, like, all timers right there.
Yeah. Adam Sandler, I wouldn't mind if he kind of took a step back from comedy for a little bit, because I have not liked his recent stuff, like from Ridiculous 6 onward, but Uncut Gems, fantastic.
He's so good.
Loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Keep doing that, man. Like,
love the Sandman.
Yeah, Spaceman. I really liked Spaceman a lot. If you've seen that one.
No, I didn't.
Oh, Paul Dano plays an alien spider, and Adam Sandler is an astronaut stuck in space somewhere, and they like bond, and like, I don't know, he becomes friends with it. It's based off a book, but I loved it. I was like, oh, this is cool.
I'm in. I gotta check it out. Yeah.
Let the Sandman do weird stuff. Yeah, but awesome, man. Yeah, comedies obviously there's something about comedies that you don't get in anything else, because you might have comedic moments in other movies, but when you just have a straight up comedy and you know what you're getting into there, you're just like, you're there to just have a good time. Like a horror movie, you're there to get scared. Comedy, you're there to just have a good ass time, and that's it. You know?
I know. That's, I would say that's one thing. Like, I wish came back more. I think they're trying Naked Gun. They're trying. I just, I hate that the economics of the Hollywood industry is shying away from those, because like, I think, those are the best. Those are the ones you quote forever. Like you just you become those things. Like for me, it was like The Simpsons, you know, like
Yeah.
it's just, that's who I am. If you want to know what my brain is, what's going on in my brain, it's there's a yellow shaped, there's a lemon behind that yellow shaped rock, you know, like it's
Right.
just, that's how my brain works, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. Like, I hope the kids get those things, you know? It's probably just some like Twitch stream or something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's changed so much. That's like,
Yeah.
that's their entertainment too. That's what
Yeah.
they're shown 24/7. But if movies can sustain themselves and kind of make a comeback, you know, hopefully
Yeah.
we get more Naked Gun. We've got Scary
Yeah.
Movie 6. Spaceballs 2 is coming.
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
You know, give us I think that's how you get comedy back to a good point. You double down on like the ridiculous slapstick nature of it
Yep.
and the parodies.
And the parodies.
Make
yeah.
those good again, and like you're on the right
and then
path.
people will be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give a quick shout out to a comedy that's coming out soon. Only because my buddy Chad, not only, but my buddy Chad Hardigan directed it. It's a movie called The Threesome, and that is coming out, and that is like a wonderful, like old school rom-com. Like it's about a threesome. It's I keep saying it's like, imagine if Harry met Sally at an orgy.
Right.
You know, like it's like old school rom-com. Like,
Is that
there's,
with
like,
Zoe Deutsch?
Yep.
So Zoe
Yep.
Deutsch? I don't know
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
say it, but awesome. Yeah, that's
dude, it's so I saw it at South by Southwest when it premiered there, and I haven't been in a theater that laughed that hard for like a long time. Just like constant, like just good like comedy, you know, just like a romantic comedy too. Like not like a cheesy Hallmark thing or like these bad Netflix ones, just like a great date night, fun, modern take on like guy meets girl, meets other girl all on one night. And then just
Right.
like throughout the whole movie, I would turn to the stranger to the left of me and just be like, oh no, he's walking into the cafe that she's in. Like, this is bad. Right. You know, it's just like just that perfect rhythm. And yeah, shout out Chad, man. It got a theatrical release. I hope people watch it. It's awesome.
Oh, awesome. Do you know
Yeah.
when it's expected to come out?
I want to say early September.
Okay, so relatively soon then.
Really
Yeah.
soon. He's going to do some LA screenings. I saw him posting some like, you know, sneak peek things.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it should be in, you know, nowadays films don't play in theaters super long. So,
Right.
you know, get ahead of it, find out when it's going to play. Take a date. It's really good. I promise. If you don't like it, hit me up. I'll give you your money back. That is
Yeah.
not a guarantee, but you won't have any problems.
Yeah, Zoe's a pretty great actress too. I usually like everything that she's in, so yeah, I'll definitely be looking out for that.
Yeah, it's really good, man. Yeah.
Awesome. So, you know, moving on to your film, Above the Clouds.
Yeah.
You know, and I mentioned this before we started filming, but I had read a review that likened it to Before Sunrise and Past Lives, which I'd say it's a different tone than both of those, but it's similar in the sense of like you got two people who meet and they're connecting and they're just kind of walking and talking and learning about each other, and you know, some stuff might be happening. And dialogue obviously is a very strong element of those types of movies. So what are some films personally for you that may have either consciously or subconsciously inspired this project when you were writing it? You know, just the like dynamic, the dialogue, all that stuff.
I wouldn't even say it was subconscious, man. I would say like, you know, Before Sunset, you know, was the one, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, Sunset's the second one, right?
Yep, that's the second one.
Okay, so funny enough, like you said about Wet Hot American Summer, I saw Before Sunset first.
Oh, really?
And just, like,
Interesting.
Fell in love with it. And I did not watch Before Sunrise for maybe like 5 years later. Like, I just saw that movie, and you know, the second one does such a good job of explaining the first one. There's like a quick flashback, and I was like, I don't need to watch the first one. Like, they did such a good job of setting up in like 3 old shots that I knew what the situation was. And it was just like, it was like one of these movies where I watched it and it changed, like, it pretty much changed everything. You know, like I was like, oh wait, like I haven't seen a movie like, you know, almost since like kind of like the French New Wave era, where it was like, yeah, we're just gonna like
hang
be
out
around and talk. We're gonna hang out.
Yeah, we're gonna hang
We're
out.
really
Yeah.
just gonna hang out. And then I would also point to, things like, everything that the Duplass brothers were doing, like Puffy Chair was a big one. I would say that was kind of my era of like, you're moving to LA, or I was probably college time at the time, but like, your early 20s, and you're just like, your dream is to make movies. And then you're watching these guys and you're like, but that's impossible, right? Like, how do I make Star Wars? How do I make Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs? And it was like all these, bigger ideas. And then you see these guys just like this mumblecore movement, and you're just like, I can do this.
Yeah,
I love
you can
it. Just like there you go, right there.
The trilogy, the Criterion trilogy,
The
man.
Criterion trilogy, like it's so good.
Love it.
And it's like, that was it. That was kind of those guys, all that stuff. And again, my buddy Chad Hardigan had made Luke and Bria's First Date,
Okay.
and he had made it for a few grand, like in Echo Park in Los Angeles. And it was just like, yeah, I'm in, dude. Like movies can be this. Movies can be people just hanging out and just talking. And I loved it. So that was like 100% the style of the film, And when I was right before I was about to shoot while I was writing the film too, I actually went back and watched Before Sunrise, and like studied it. Like I wrote down like what each shot was, how long was the scene, like, okay, they talk for 5 minutes, right? But they do 3 different actions, so it's not boring,
Right.
Or like, hey, how is it that they tell this whole, and then they're like, wait, they meet the, like, what is it, like the German tourist or something, like at one point, or.
And
So
then
it's like,
the poet, and he has them do the milkshake poem or something later at night. Yeah.
So it's like, how do I make my story just not be 2 people talking? How do you kind of do that? So yeah, that would say that was like one of the biggest influences of it. And then I don't know if you actually know. So the whole movie is a true story.
Yeah, you know what? After I asked your questions, and like I went back to like our messages on Reddit, and I had seen on your profile you talking about the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, yes, this is, a very dear, close movie to you, and it's true story and all that.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, it's like basically essentially the true story of right after when my father passed. I was 25.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And then I went to this coffee shop. I'd left Los Angeles. I went back home to Philadelphia. Had to like sell my house, my parents' house. My mom, she's from Thailand. We had to pack her up and move her back to Thailand because they were about to retire anyway. So it's kind of like this whole thing. I lost my dad, I lost my mom, I lost my house, my childhood house. I go back to Los Angeles. I go to this coffee shop, and then I see this other girl that's kind of sad, and I strike up a conversation. And then, we end up spending the whole day together, just like 2 complete strangers. And this was, in the early 2000s, like Tumblr was really big. And I remember posting like, yo, one day this is going to be a movie. Right.
Yeah.
Like the day is so magical, that one day there's going to be a movie. And it took me 13 years to make it a movie, but I did. And then actually we had shot a short film for this Twitter contest. It was like your day in 140 seconds. And I was like, holy crap, I just had this amazing day with this stranger. And so we went and reshot the day as a short film. And we were one of the finalists. We didn't win, of course, but that was kind of the catalyst of it. And then just like for 13 years trying to figure it out, how do I like make this kind of sad topic something special? And then I kind of finally dawned on me that like I combined it with that backyard comedy show, which is based off a true story. My friend Matt Bronger is a great comedian. He has this backyard comedy show for his birthday every year. And then I was like, oh, that'll be the catalyst. Like that's how we can get this place going. And then we'll do, the film's all about, him wanting to, quote unquote, be a comedian. I think it's less about him being a comedian, him more about, telling the world that thank you and tell his story.
Right.
And then, yeah, so that's kind of how it all like came together. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
that's-
changed a lot of the stuff, like the film really isn't about the actual person I met. It's more about like my wife and her family. My wife's Korean, her family's Korean. So in the film, you'll see a lot of that. Just kind of the last 10 years of my life is making sure I put all that kind of stuff into the film. But yeah, that's kind of how it all came about, man.
Yeah, and I think that there's something so authentic, especially a movie like this where, when you're tapping into something that's in here that you've experienced based on true things, it feels much more organic when you're watching it. When like people like me, for instance, on the outside, I'm watching it, it's going to come off a little bit more, authentic, I think, because it's not just like a cliche moment or this or that. It feels lived in. It feels like real characters. Yeah. And I think the best way to do that is by pulling from in here. I think that's the best way to get that.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, and that was a difficult one for me, But then I will say, there was a part where I was struggling forever, and then I kind of realized, oh wait, to go back to my earlier point, you love comedies, you're a comedic director. That's what you do. So make it a comedy, and then that really helped me be able to kind of pace it a little better and be like, oh, okay, well, what is the funniest thing that could happen here? What is the funniest way they could start their adventure? And it's oh, what if this crazy woman shows up at the coffee shop and says she saw her and then talks about she saw her dog in a dream, and it's what the hell, and then it's no, your dad's still dead. It's a whole thing. Then I was oh, that's how I have to to get through the pain, to do a heavy subject, you have to do it in a very lighthearted way. And hopefully that translates. So
you definitely you like the tension, you like the emotional weight, but you also need that levity too in between. That kind of helps it all ebb and flow together, I think.
And that's the thing too. It's people who've experienced great loss, great heartbreak, and things like that. And there's usually something funny that happens during that. There's always something dumb happening. And if my brain is wired that way, like I said, I have the Simpsons brain. Everything's always funny to me, even the saddest moments, because that's just how I was raised. My dad was like that, my mom's like that. So so for anyone who is like that, hopefully the goal is that someone watches this movie who's seen the hard parts of life, and then they get a little break from it and be okay, eventually this does get better,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you talk about, even during the sad stuff, something funny happens. When my grandfather passed away probably 7 years ago or so, at the wake, my cousin was there with her son, who was just a newborn, and they had to change his diaper, but when they were doing it, someone picked him up when his diaper was off, and he just started pissing all over the carpet of the, not in front of people, we were away, but it's just not only he shit himself, but then with his diaper off, he starts fucking peeing. It's just, you appreciate those moments so much because it's just it's not all dark and gray. It's something good there.
Everyone's going to the casket, and it's just the whole place just smells.
Yep.
Your poor cousin has to I don't know, man. I guess when old people die, they just smell bad.
Right. Yeah, it's not my kid.
It's not my kid, dude.
Yeah,
I think it's the embalming fluid.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, but see, it's funny. It's great to be able to laugh in those moments. You appreciate the hell out of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I keep telling people the only thing I want is when I die, you guys just keep making fun of me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I tell random stranger, I tell friends that have darker sense of humor to just go for it. Just start posting on Facebook, invite me to your barbecue publicly, or every year, around December, just pretend you found out I just died.
Yeah.
Everyone's wait, how?
It's 10 years later, you're oh my God, I just heard.
No, I swear you posted this last year, dude.
Yeah. No, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked about some gaps in between projects there, just with what you were talking about before. So in 2012, you had this show or series you did called McMayhem, and then not until over 10 years later, Above the Clouds was released. So just, as someone obviously a creative in filmmaking, what were you doing in this time? Like what did that look like?
Yeah,
all that
so
downtime?
I would say, okay, a couple things to that. One, my IMDb is trash.
Okay, fair enough.
I have done a lot of stuff in between. I just haven't updated the IMDb, or a lot of times I think there's like 6 or 7 Jon Hills out there.
Oh yeah.
So there's like I'm like a gaffer as one Jon Hill, and I'm like doing sound for Funny or Die on this other one, and but to give you a bigger picture, of what I was doing, I would say I've just been making stuff, man. Like my career, I would say, consists of early like documentaries when I was younger. That kind of got me into this field, things like that, and I did a lot of just like web comedies. Like we did like I would say one of my big learning grounds was this thing called Channel 101.
Okay.
And Channel 101, for people who don't know, was like created by Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub. Dan is the guy who created Community and like Rick and Morty and all that, so and it was like a monthly film fest at a local theater. So like so basically there's 10 5-minute short films, and the whole audience votes, and then the top 5 vote getters get to make a second episode. So it was like the best training ground, because it's like every month you are making a 5-minute short in hopes that you get in to join the 5 heavyweights that already won, and then you're trying to knock them out. And I'm talking like this is where like you can look up the YouTube on Conan, like Lonely Island started there.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
So like, and like, look at the heavy, Randall Park is from Channel 101. Like I used to just like hang with Randall Park and shoot stuff for him, like everyone who wrote Rick and Morty, all those guys, Tom Kaufman, all those guys, they all were at Channel 101. Like, Eric Bauza is the voice of every Looney Tune ever, like
right.
He's the voice of that, like Bugs and all these things. Like he's from Channel 101. Like a who's who of heavyweight comedians were all in Channel 101. And it was like one of those things where it's just like steel sharpens steel, man, or iron sharpens iron. It was like every week you're trying to be like, you're literally trying to be funnier than Randall Park. Right. Yeah. Now it never happens, but you're like, what kind of better school, like you look at like the old, you're a Chicago guy, like the old Second City, like you look back at the alum and you're like, wait a minute, what? And it was like,
Tina Fey, Dan Aykroyd.
They're all learning from each other, having a great time, but also probably kind of competing. You know what I mean? Like this is like how you get better, and you learn and you help each other out and things like that. So that was like a big thing for me, just like constantly making stuff and trying to be great, And then I had a whole range of things in my life. Like I did women's fashion for a while. I somehow got into that. I did a lot of podcasts. I did Pauly Shore's podcast for a while. I was his editor.
Who you cut out for a second? Whose podcast?
Pauly Shore.
Oh, Pauly Shore. Awesome.
Pauly Shore. Yeah. That was like a fun, side project. And then for the last 10 years, it's been at 10 years now, I've been doing sports. So I'm the director of creative video at Fox Sports Digital. So
oh, nice.
Anything that I do a lot of podcasts, video podcasts, mini documentaries, features, all sorts of stuff. So like this previous year, I'm at the Daytona 500 doing a documentary on that. I'm at the Indianapolis 500. I lived in Qatar for the World Cup for a month.
How was that?
Game. Wild.
Yeah.
Because Qatar is like, they really, really scare you about the Middle East and Qatar. And
right.
I think that's just kind of like you know, just kind of stereotypes and things like that.
Of
Like,
course.
and I'm not sure. Like they try to scare you into like the Qatar is like Afghanistan or like Iran or like, you know, it's really not. It's way closer to like probably what Abu Dhabi is. Like it's a lot of like money, a lot of fast cars.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alcohol there. You know, like they pretend they're like, oh, if you hold hands, you'll go to jail. Like no, it's not. It ain't like that at all. It's pretty very westernized in a lot of ways. But that was cool. I went to like 22 World Cup games with Chad Ochocinco and got to watch Messi score like 11 goals and win the cup and watch a bunch of grown men from Argentina cry. Like,
Right.
you know, so I just been on doing the sports thing for a long time, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been great. Like, you know, we won a couple Emmys, couple Webbies, couple all that stuff. And so, yeah, well, I was on a long run of sports. And then that's kind of when, you know, a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I kind of want to go back to my roots. You know, I kind of want to go back to movies and make something. So yeah. So that's kind of so that's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
Plotting, you know, and like, I'm very lucky that I have a job where I'm constantly learning, you know, like I get to, you know, make movies, but they're usually documentaries on sports and things like that, but I'm always shooting, always editing, always doing that kind of stuff, writing. And then, yeah, but you know, I'd love to only have to make feature length films, you know.
Yep, that's the dream right there.
That'd be the dream, right? Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yes, your IMDb is in fact trash because it doesn't show like, I mean, you can't put all of that on an IMDb page, but there's probably so many things that, yes, you could absolutely, like you said, working with like Funny or Die and all that stuff. Like that.
Yeah, I should probably update.
Yeah.
Well, it actually was working for me for a while because it was one of those things where there were so many Jon Hills that no one could figure me out.
Oh, okay.
So then I couldn't be judged. So like a lot of times, you know, people look at your IMDb and they're like, "Oh, you're like not good enough."
True.
But if they can't find you, then they don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was kind of like it was just like people would give up. They'd be like, "Oh, wait, but it can't be you. You've done something since 2012, right?" And you're like, yeah, you just couldn't find it, buddy. That's your fault.
Yeah,
you know?
that's your fault.
You should hire me. I'm great. You know, I'm just all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely. Super cool. And one at an old job of mine, my manager is from Qatar. And I think I think we worked together during, when was the World Cup over there? That was just
2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was around the time I was still working with him, and yeah, that I imagine his family was I don't know, the locals, I feel like any country, the locals get pissed when there's a big event bringing in a bunch of people from other countries. Like
well, the crazy
tourists.
thing about Qatar is, okay, so this one's kind of funny. Qatar's number one import, like their number one like enterprise or business was like pearl diving up until like the 60s.
Interesting.
Like, it was a very poor small country.
Yeah.
And then they like they found oil. Like they're literally, like I joke, like they're like the Beverly Hillbillies of the Middle East. Like there's only, I think, 200,000 Qataris, like actual Qataris.
Oh wow.
It's something crazy like that because the country's small. So like now everyone who's like from Qatar originally, I think gets like basically like a stipend, and everyone else is like from another country that's there to work. So, you know, it comes with those kind of problems. But everyone kind of went in thinking that we were going to go to like, you know, like a place with a long set of history, but really everything's like brand new. Yeah. It was weird. Like, yeah.
Yeah, very, very fascinating. Because that, you know, yeah, to your point, something that's because there's other countries that have existed for thousands of years, and you know, those other countries that have kind of recently started to build more and to grow. You know, it's kind of fascinating to just see, because some of the trajectory of a lot of them, it's super fast. Like it's because the technology's already there. They just got to be like, all right, let's get people together, and boom. Like dude,
we went to one part of the town that was literally like the buildings were built, but there was nothing inside.
Wow.
It was like a ghost. It was like skyscrapers, and you're like, you look on the ground floor, and it's just like there's just there's plywood in there. It's fake. You know, it's wild. And they have their famous what is it called? The souk something? I forgot, but it's like you'll see it in the videos. You know, they're like, oh, check out this old town. No, it's all a facade. It was built like 20 years ago. They made it look old.
Yeah.
But like their market system is not. It's like brand new. But then, you know, like some friends afterwards like went to Egypt after, and they're like, no, that actually has history and it's old.
Yeah,
Like, Egypt's been there for tens of thousands of years, but Qatar they just kind of built it out of nothing.
Yeah.
But the people were really nice. It's a good, a lot of fun. I don't want to have again. You know?
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you know, going back to your movie, Above the Clouds. So grief is a strong theme, as we talked about. You know, you wrote it with, you know, based on a true story, you grappling with the loss of your father, which, you know, it culminates in this really fantastic monologue at the end of the film with Jay, the main character. I know I ask you here if you were experiencing loss, but I'm going to go to another question. Do you find that like you enjoy making movies through a cathartic process? So do you like pulling from like these really hard emotions that you feel? Is that something that you want to kind of utilize writing projects moving forward? Or was it just like you were really feeling it? You know, the loss of your dad was a big point of your life. Or is this something where you think catharsis is like, you know, you want to do that? Like that's like the best way you want to write. Which is difficult because you like comedy. I'm finding out how much you like comedy, and it's you can't really be cathartic with comedy as much, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's a tricky one, man. It's really funny, and it's such a like. So I did the film festival circuit, and we played in a ton of places. I think like 10 cities and things like that. And you know, it's the question I always laugh at, right? And someone always says like, so what inspired you to make this movie? Or like, why did you choose and I'm always like, guys, did you not see the movie?
Right.
Like I tell people this, I'm like, no, they're like, why did you want to make this? I'm like, I didn't want to make this movie. I wanted to make a different movie and have my dad alive and see that one.
Of course.
You know, I can make something else. I can do a sci-fi. I can do fucking whatever I want.
Yep.
Like this was one of these situations that it was like I had to make this movie. You know, like you know, I talked about the gap of the IMDb and things, and I was doing stuff, but like, I mean, truthfully, I wasn't making a feature film. Right. You know, and forever that is what filmmakers get into, right? I had to explain to my boss who loves movies, but was, you know, he's just curious, like, what is the feature film? And I'm like, no, man, that is your thesis. Like that is the bar. That is like getting drafted into the NBA or the NFL. Like once you get drafted, that's it. You're done. Like no one can never say that you're not a professional, you know, you didn't make it.
Right.
And that's what the feature film is to be. Like once you make that feature, then that's it. You're a feature film director. You're good. You know, like whether it's good or bad, it doesn't even matter. Like no one can ever take that away from you, you know? And, you know, for a lot of young people coming up, like, I don't, you know, you're probably the same ways. Like you come up, you love movies and you're like, I want to do that one day. And you spend your whole life trying to do it. And whether you do it or not is, you know, is its own journey. And I had been trying to make this film for literally 13 years, right? And, you know, I'd written films about other stuff, you know, but it was kind of like there was a point in my life where I literally had I was so stuck, right? And I bet a lot of filmmakers, I like telling the story because I think a lot of filmmakers probably are in the same boat, right? It's like you have this goal and you can't accomplish it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just tearing me up, you know, me and my, you know, she's my wife now, but while we were dating, or, you know, it was like, hey, we should go on vacation. I go, well, I really shouldn't go on vacation. I should be working on my movie. And then you don't work on your movie. And then you look and you're like, well, great. I didn't go on vacation. I didn't work on my movie, you know? And then now you just feel like an extra failure. you know, and you were like, every time I would take these jobs, like when I was at the fashion company or when I was doing, you know, even when I was working in sports for the first few years, I was like, well, this is just a job. You guys don't understand. I'm really the next Spielberg. I just haven't done it yet, you know? And like, after a while, you're kind of stuck in the middle. Right. And you're in this own trap. And so like, I finally one day had to like literally, Sean, I looked myself in the mirror, like, and said, hey, John, you're not a feature film director. And that's okay. Like, just because your whole life you wanted that doesn't mean you have to do that. Like, this is not you. Like, if you really wanted to be a feature film director, you would actually have written a script. You would have actually have gotten the gear and, you know, you would have done it. So clearly, this isn't your number one priority. So just walk away. It's okay. You know, go focus on the things you want to do now.
Right.
And I did, you know, and I did. And then, you know, me and my wife got married, had a great wedding, had a great vacation, you know, have a great life. I started doing the sports things serious this time, you know, instead of being like, oh, I'm just like collecting a paycheck. I'm just like kind of working here. Now I was like, you know, let me actually try, you know, let me like really try to use my directing skills and my talents in sports. That's when we started winning Emmys, you know, that's when we started winning these awards and things started getting great, you know. And it was like, when you're hungry enough, when you're hungry again, you'll be hungry, but you'll be a different person when you go into it. And so that's really what got me there. Right. And my buddy I was shooting a short film for a friend kind of thing. And someone else was shooting, you know, another section of it. And they're like, oh, who's shooting the rest of it? And, you know, my buddy goes, oh, Jon Hill is. And he goes, oh, does Jon Hill still make stuff? Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah. So like, I don't know. I guess he, you know, I was like, oh, you guys forgot.
Yeah.
I got left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I feel like I'm at the World Series on the field. I'm at the Super Bowl. Like, I'm with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl celebrating. I got confetti from him. Right. Mm-hmm. But all the guys who went and did Rick and Morty, who did TV shows and went on to do comedy, like, I wasn't doing that anymore. So it's almost like I was feeling like I had great success, and I was, but it was in a different field. And that was like the fire. Then I was like, nah, okay. I drifted too far. Like, I'm hungry again, you know, like the Michael Jordan meme. Like, I took that personal.
Yeah.
So then I call up my buddy Dave Seeger, one of my favorite directors ever. He's a brilliant genius. And I was like, yo, man, I'm doing the film. Meet me on Monday, you know. And I paid him to meet me every week, and you know, and he's so smart. He'd be like, all right, you know, let's do the chart. Let's do the circle. Let's do the Dan Harmon circle. Let's do the Save the Cat. Like, where are you at? Great. Come back next Monday. Work on the ending. What do you got? Give me 10 people they can run into on the streets. Give me 10 jobs they can have. Give me 10, you know, things that could talk about. Great. Come back the next week. We do that for a month, and he's like, great. You got the outline. Come back in a month with the script. And I did. Yeah. And so that's how it happened, you know? So it was really like, you know, really just like this thing where, you know, as artists, we're always trapped in our own intentions, you know, and our own goals. And it's funny because, like, it's so hard to like explain that to someone that doesn't have that terrible drug in them, you know, like, you know what I mean? But that's just kind of like how we had to get there, how we had to do it. So, and then when it came time, it was like, and I really said to myself when I was making this movie, I was like, dude, I'm never doing this again. I'm only like, now that I'm back, I'm doing this movie. It's essentially the history of my family. It's, you know, like, it's in a weird way, like that speech at the end and that's literally word for word what happened. Like, I'm not like everything. Like, that is like how I told that story. And the funny thing is, I never told anyone that story, man. I told like maybe 2 people, and my brother didn't know it. Because for those that don't know, it's the guy gets on stage, Jay gets on stage, and he talked about the last time he saw his father alive. My brother didn't know it. My mom didn't know it. My wife didn't know it. Like no one knew what actually happened that final moment. And so that was like me being like, look, I got to do this. Like, this is what I have to do, you know? So I tell people like, it's not what I wanted to make. It's what I had to make. And, you know, it was just like, yeah, I think my dad was the type of guy whose life, you know, deserved a movie. And I'm going to be the guy to do it, you know, like, because who else?
Right.
You know? So yeah, I would say, you know, going forward, I got a horror film that has nothing to do with my family.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I do think that so much of writing and what I do is always going to be based off my life. You know, the other thing about comedies is like, I'm always jealous of my friends because I think they do comedy so much better than me. Like, I could never write a Rick and Morty. I could never write a Naked Gun or just like a just comedy after like I'm just not that good. I'm better at like you know, my strength is in the heart. You know, my days of comedies with heart. You know, so I can't do that like just bam, 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 bam. Like I just can't. But like so, and I think like for you to be able to tell these kind of stories, like the more that it's based in you, it's like it's just easier.
Right.
You know, like I can write a story about me. You know, I can write a story about a breakup or a time I did this. I do when I have to be like, you know, a World War II pilot, and then like, and I have to like fight people. I'm like, I can't. I'm not doing that. I don't know anything about that. You know.
Yeah.
But if there was a guy that was the truck driver and he was scared the whole time, but he was like hilarious, I could probably write that story. You know. Yeah. So
yeah, I feel that, and
yeah.
And I'm excited. I hope that you do that horror film soon, because I've realized lately that, you know, comedy writers, or predominantly comedy writers, make awesome horror. Jordan Peele, Zach Kreger, they've killed it with what they've done with horror. And
dude, yeah, even Companion, Drew Hancock.
Yeah, yep.
So that's a Channel 101 guy.
Is he really?
Like,
yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So like, you know, so it's like so excited for him to have that opportunity to direct that movie. And he wrote it and directed it. It's killer. But like, yeah, like that's, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I got a couple ideas floating. I'd like to get paid to make one. And if not, we'll string some more money together and make another little guy.
Yeah. Do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the way that you and I crossed paths was on Reddit. Yeah. Reddit has its subreddits. It has, you know, Filmmaker. It has Film Festival. It has like a bunch of different areas where there's, you know, any filmmaker jumps on there and they could talk, they could communicate. And because I'm not as like I'm not on Reddit as often as like a lot of people. I go on there sometimes, and then I'll see you on there. So in your opinion, like, what do you think the Reddit community has done for filmmaking? Is it value added, or do you think that it ends up becoming detrimental to the creative process?
I wouldn't say it's detrimental. So my thing with Reddit is I like cycle through different social medias. You know, like forever it was Tumblr. That's where my life was. I was just a Tumblr person, you know. And then for a while when I was doing NBA basketball, I was all Twitter, right? Twitter is NBA Twitter. It's like, that's where you go. And, you know, and then just kind of, I don't know why, just like Reddit was like what people, I don't know. I just kind of got into it. Like, but I'm not like a diehard, you know. I would say no, but I would say if you were to pick one social media platform, you know, quote unquote, if you call Reddit that, I'm probably more on Reddit than any other one, but I'm always trying to wean myself off. Like, it's so crazy that I work in social media, but I like have gotten to the age of grumpiness where I like despise it.
Right.
You know? So like you said, like my IMDb, like that's kind of like what my Facebook is now, what my Twitter is now, what my, you know, like it's just too much. My boss would hate me for saying it, but like just kind of over all that stuff. So at least what I like about Reddit is you can be anonymous. You know, well, on I have a public facing one, which is where you found me, and that's one where I talk about my public stuff. Right. And then, you know, you got to have your own burner where you're just like, you know, just doing whatever you want with it, you know, kind of thing. So like, I try not to be the thing that I don't like about the internet is, you know, I see these things, and I've seen it with some friends, man, is like they will, if the internet turns on you, they turn on you, and it's just too late.
Right.
I know I have some friends that are in the industry, and I'll read stuff about them that I know is just 110% false. But for some reason, they got in it with a group of people who decided they don't like that person. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
You're like, oh, you're a woman who likes sports? Well, guess what? I'm an ogre who lives in my parents' basement, and I hate you. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, no matter what that person says, there's a group that has already decided that their reputation is trash. You know, and I've seen this happen so many times that it frankly, like, really, it's so like bad that it scares me. You know, so like I'm just like, okay, the Jon Hill directs on Reddit is like, it's gonna be just like the happy thing, you know. And if you hate that version of me, then I'm sorry. Like, you know, don't mail glitter bombs to my house, kind of thing, you know.
Right.
But I think Reddit's really interesting. It's a weird mix, you know, and it's always like I do what I don't like about Reddit is it is a place where I feel like a lot of people go to talk bad about what's going on. You know, like a lot of every day you're reading a film. Like, to answer your question, I don't think it's the best. I think there's good stuff that comes out of it. Like, I think now meeting you is great, you know, and talking to some other people. Like, I think there's people who use it for the right reasons. I think there's people that are just complaining, that just sit there and go, everyone in Hollywood has a rich parent and it's impossible to make it without it. And I'm like, Randall Park don't got rich parents, you know? Drew Hancock don't. Like, all none of my friends do, you know? I don't. I sure is, you know, like my mom lives in Thailand right now, you know, like she barely got electricity. Like I'm doing well. So like those are the parts I don't like. And then also too, it's just like, you also forget that it's like international, you know, so they're like, it's always like, is this camera good for cinematic qualities? By the way, I live in Bangladesh, and I'm like, I can't help you, man. Like, no offense to people who live in other countries. Like, I'm not dissing you, but like, my world's different than yours, you know? Like, what do you think about this color grading? Is it cinematic? And it's like the worst footage ever, and the kid's like 12, and I'm like, that's not gonna help me, man. You know, like my cinematographer shot SNL. Like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You know, so it's cool. Like, I think there's enough. It's such a big platform that there's enough people that you can find the right people. You know? Yeah.
Right. And I think that's mostly what people take away from it is they find their little, you know, their little niche, or they find a couple people they network with, and then like that's kind of it. There's no more, I guess, searching or trying to find this or that. You kind of get your hook, and then, you know, it's not as imperative to chronically be on Reddit trying to talk with everybody, right?
One thing I like about it, and I'm like, I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna get there, is like, I think what's really great about it is when you share the things you learn. Like, I'm very much into, I love to visit colleges. I've been luckily I've been invited back to my alma mater, University of Pittsburgh, a few times.
Oh, nice.
I mentor a lot of young college kids, because like when I was coming up, I think you need, big believer in, you need to see it to be it.
100%.
And like when you see someone that's like, wait a minute, you were just like a dumbass like me eating at the same cafeteria, you know, like, wait, like, you know, like I'm from Philadelphia and went to the University of Pittsburgh, not the biggest Hollywood industry. So if you're a kid coming out of Western PA and you're at Pitt, which is not NYU or USC or that, you need to see someone that has made it, because there's no one else, you know. Your family doesn't know anyone, you know, like no one knows anyone. So like, what do you mean you gotta fly 3,000 miles and like, where's Burbank? Is that by the beach, you know? And it's like all these things. So I always love to like meet young people, mentor them, you know, and kind of give them love, talking about them. So I think what I like about Reddit is when someone's like, hey, I just made this movie, here's how I did it. You know, or like, hey, I made this short film, and they're like, what lenses did you use? You know, I was like, oh, I did this, because there's some 12-year-old, there's some 20-year-old, there's some kid in Bangladesh reading it, being like, oh, wait, if that person can do it, maybe I can do it. You know, and so
Right.
much of my career was that, is people helping me, you know, along the way, you know, and just like learning. Where, yes, I'm lucky, man, that I got to sharpen my iron with, you know, the guy who made Companion, you know, the guy who's doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's awesome. You know, I can call up Chad and be like, yo, man, help me with this. You know, here's my rough draft. Tell me what you think about it. You know, I can find these people. Not everyone has that. So I think the more that you can, you know,
You can be that for them in a sense.
you can be that for them.
Yeah.
And I love doing it. And now that Reddit has become such a like search engine,
Literally,
you know,
that's what I use it for sometimes.
dude.
I just type what I'm specifically looking for. You could look on Reddit and someone's got a
Someone's
thread
on
about
it.
it. Yeah.
And I'll do it. I keep saying I just need to find the data, write it. But like, you know, we did a Kickstarter for our movie, and we raised $42,000.
Really?
And
How?
Yeah. So that's
the thing that I'd ask. Like, how?
That's
Because
the Reddit post I'm gonna do, Sean. I'm gonna do
good.
it.
I'll follow it. I'll follow it. So
too, because I'll see it too. Like, I try not to comment too much, you know. Right now I'm in Above the Clouds promotion. So like anytime
Right.
someone's like, hey, anyone got a movie that's like 2 people? And I'm like, yes, by the way, there's this, you know, like, you know.
yeah.
Always sending that link. But that I see that all the time. People have been like, I'm trying to do a crowdfunder, and everyone has the worst advice. Or it's negative advice. It's like, well, you need 2 million social media followers, and then if you can get 5% of, and I'm like, that's not it at all, dude.
Yeah.
That is not how you do it. I structured my pricing very aggressive. You know, I was just like, you know, I read a lot of, I don't have a business degree, but I read a lot about business and marketing and things like that. And it's like, yeah, it's very simple philosophy. Like, I could try to get 100 people to give me $1, or I can find one person to give me $100.
Right.
It's easier to me to get the one person to give me $100. You know?
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough. I'm old enough. A lot of my friends didn't try to be film directors and went into business and have money, you know, like all these different things. So like, I think there's strategies there, you know, like, so one thing was like, I always see people like, oh, you can watch the movie for like a low fee. I'm like, no, like, if you want to watch the movie, it's $100. Like, that's
Right.
it. That's just it.
And is that
Like,
what your model was? Was that the lowest was 100 for Above the Clouds?
So I think to get in the credits was maybe like 50.
Okay. Like
Or
a
maybe
special
25. Yeah, in the credits was like 25. I think the soundtrack was 50. You know, and that was going to be for anyone I knew who just didn't have money, or like any of these younger people who don't have a job. And I was like, you know what? Most of the people I know at age 42 probably have $100. And then, again, this is 4 years ago. This is right after COVID. Like, people got
Right.
checked. You know,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Right now, the economy's not as good. So I was like, all right, I think most people want to support me. I think they probably have $100 between them and their you know, maybe the husband and the wife, you know, like, going to give me $100. So that was kind of my price point. We're like, give me $100. And
Okay.
it worked very well. You want the director's commentary? Are you a big Jon Hill fan? Then
Right.
That's $250. You know? And then the other one I did, man, and I got so much from this was, you know, associate producer credit on IMDb.
Yeah.
$500. That's a lot. I sold more of those to complete strangers than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it on a smaller price. You know, when I started trying to get really into film again, because it was a dream of mine back in like high school, I was looking on Kickstarter. I'm like, what's a project that offers that, and I could like at least talk with them, and I don't really help with the process to be an associate producer on Kickstarter, but you get that credit, and you kind of, you know, you are a little bit in the know. It's a good interactive experience, so that's I think the best. Yeah, that's
And that
a really
was the
great way.
thing. I did, and then I expanded my audience wide. You know, I went on, like I said, I'm a big NBA fan. I went on a Sixers podcast, and some guy heard it, was like, "Dude, you know what, man? Like, one, I love your story. It also helps that like this is such a person, you know, like,
Right?
It's different when you're like, hey, man, give me money to make this like film about this killer clown. You know, like,
yeah.
like it's a little different. You know, it's like, hey, man, this is about my dad. Like, and then everyone in my high school knew my dad, so they're like, all right, $100, I'll give it to you. You know. That kind of
Right.
thing. So it doesn't work for everyone. But there were people that were like, dude, my dream is to be on IMDb. And I was like, I can get your dream made, man. It's $500. You're an accountant somewhere. Like, you know, like if you're an accountant in Podunk, wherever, this might be the most exciting shit you've ever done.
Right.
So don't sell that for $20.
Yeah.
Find the one person that give you $500 for that. You know, so it's kind of things like that. It was like, make sure your pricing's good. Don't do any kind of physical gifts back. I've seen so many people be like, you get a t-shirt, you get a poster. Okay, great. They gave you $25. You had to make a t-shirt for $17 plus shipping.
Yeah.
Now you made $3. Like, nah, you ain't getting that.
Yeah, unless you already have the inventory or something, or you're tapping into like you already have a merch shop where it's like it's already established. I don't know.
Even it's just taken away from your goal, which should be make the movie.
Yeah,
you know
you want
I mean?
things that are like digital, right? Something you could give them digital and
give them digital, and then you sell your merch on your own.
Yeah.
You know? So there's a lot of that, and also there was a group of college kids that I mentored. You know, my friend Sam McCoy. And it was like, just like they had done a Kickstarter and they were young, you know, they were just fresh out of college making their first film, and they gave me so much good advice. They actually gave me all the advice, you know, and the tips of like, you got to post every single day, you know, those kind of things. Like, and this is something I knew from work, like your social media, only 5% of your followers see your content per post. So you got to post 20 times just to try to get all 100% of your people to see it. So that's one thing people don't take, you know, they're just like, oh, I posted it, no one responded. Well, it's not their fault, they didn't see it.
Yeah.
So you got to post it every day. You got to like really be on it. And even then they told me too, they're like, listen, the first week's gonna go crazy and your last week's gonna go crazy. Those 2 weeks in between are gonna be miserable. You know, like those are the ones you got to grind out, you know. And even no matter how much you tell your friends that it ends on Friday, the Kickstarter ends on Friday, the Kickstarter ends on Friday, everyone's going to text you on Saturday like, dude, I missed it. So like one thing was like, make sure you have either a quick Venmo or a GoFundMe ready to go. So that when they do that, because they will, you can quickly point to them and be like, all right, you could still pay me. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say like a lot of the others, like that was really it, man. Really tapping into your network, getting your network to talking to their network, you know, like you think, oh, and the other thing too is you really have to become, one of the things I learned about, you know, producing this film is you really have to become a business person.
100%.
Like it is like, as much as we want to just be artists, it is not. Like I had to mentally go and be like, yo, because I raised $42,000 of Kickstarter. I raised another 70 in private, and that was going for the bigger fish. That was trying to get $5,000 a person, $10,000 a person. Imagine going to someone and trying to get $10,000 from them.
Yeah,
you know, like you gotta be locked in. You gotta be like, yo, man, let me tell you what. This is why it's gonna work. And they're like, you know, I know I'm never getting my money back, and I'm like, yeah, but.
Yeah. When they say that, that's a relief, right? When
that's a relief.
They know they're not getting it back, so you're like, okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So you understand.
They do. But then you also have to like be like, yeah, but I'm not going to let that be this ain't a charity.
Exactly.
Like, proud of that. Like you're going to every dollar you gave me is going to feel great about it. Like, you will never feel like you wasted this money. This, you know, so like
absolutely. And
then even just to have the courage to ask for that much money, you know, and then you gotta like one friend gives you that money, so now you gotta let this other guy who's you know who has money know that your other friend gave you money, because then now he doesn't want to be left out. Like he doesn't want to look like the poor friend, you know. So you gotta it's all that side. And yeah, man, just like constantly, it is not about how big of a social media following you have. It was not about people who follow me on Twitter or people follow me on Instagram. That was not it. I used those things because my friends were on those, but it's way more about, I think, having a great story. And I honestly, and I think the biggest thing is, you are not selling the project, you are selling yourself. It is not like, if you read anything about VC funding and investors and things like that, they don't even care what the product is. I mean, they do, but it's just like you're like and I believe this. Look, there's people out there that I don't care what job they have, they're gonna succeed.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just, some people are like really good at that. So you have to convince people that you're that person. Like, I know nothing about films, right? Someone will I know nothing about film. Great, you don't need to. I do. Really? You never made a film before? Don't worry about that part.
Right.
But I'm gonna, I know what I'm doing. So like that's the sell. That's the part where you have to like be like, listen, we are doing this project. The train is rolling. I've already got this money coming in. These people are excited. You're emailing people weeks before, telling them the Kickstarter's coming. You're doing all that. You got your ducks in a row. Because setting up the bit, that all takes time, and that's another note. Like, give yourself plenty of time, and then just don't be afraid, man. Like first of all, I promise you are not the most annoying person to your friend's life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's definitely worse people out there.
There's worse people out there. Like I think that's one thing we always like worry about, right? It's like, I don't want to bother him. I don't, like, no, dude, that dude has a cousin that's been asking for money for 30 years.
Yeah,
like that. Your friend, like, is not upset that you're trying to do this project of yours that you've been dreaming of for 30 years, and it's your dream thing, and we're gonna have fun. It's their bum ass kid who is majored in like underwater basket weaving that like that's, you're not their problem.
Right, yeah.
So like, don't feel bad being on someone's social media. Like, most people's social media sucks. Like, most of your friends post photos of like Arby's, like sort of crappy food. Like, you being like, yo, this is my dream. Can you help me live my dream out? Most people will be fine with that.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah. You just gotta put that in your mind where it's like, I need this money. I gotta figure it out. Yeah. And it's gonna be everyone's money. Like, so. Yeah,
because you're still, at the end of the day, you're still a part of the project.
You're part of the project.
You could get that special thanks credit, at the very least. Those aren't ever expensive, so it's like you have something tangible that shows that you're like, hey, I supported this. I just got a little thanks, but I like this end product, so it should feel good, right?
It should feel good. Yeah. And people want to see that. The other thing is, people want to help other people. They want to support, they want to help. It's why you buy a t-shirt from the band you like. It's why why you have the Before trilogy. Like, it's because like these are things like people, they want to give money to things that they believe in and they support, because that's what makes them feel good, right? It's a long history of like, giving in religion. Like they want to donate to charities, they want to donate to things, they want to support good things. So
of course,
it takes a lifetime of building your network and having good people. And, I think it helps that I find myself to be a nice guy that helps people,
Yeah.
If I was a terrible person, so there's some jerks I know that ask for money on Kickstarter, and I'm like, I ain't giving you that money, man. You're a jerk, know. But I think if you just kind of,
it takes a village, and it also takes a miracle, right? They always say really it's a miracle for a movie to be made, but movies are made all the time. So I think that miracle shouldn't be a deterrent. I think a miracle should just be what to look forward to once you do it, right? Yeah. Be like, I did this. I made a miracle happen. Yeah. So I think.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to like, I'm just like, I'm at a place where I'm just so in it. I try to like sit back and remember all the good times, but it's just been happening so fast, and it's just like, like you're just in it. It helps that I feel like I made a good movie. Like, if I made a terrible movie, and I'd be like, oh man, dude, I can't see that person. That guy gave me so much money, and like my actor sucked, so I get it. But I was really lucky that we made a really good movie, man. We had incredible cast, incredible people, and I don't know, great music, great soundtrack. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So the last question that I have here, I like to end it the same way, start it and end it with the same way for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So where do you, and you kind of tapped into this, but just more straight, where do you see yourself in 5 years, whether personally or professionally?
Oh man, what a good question. Man, in 5 years. You know, I would say, you know, one of my producers, Dan Reeser, also a phenomenal filmmaker. Dan Reeser was a producer on the film. He was like, with Chad, was like one of the first guys that we knew to do a feature film, and just like so inspiring. Like to go to, you know, to see his premiere at the Chinese Grauman Theater when we were 20, you know, and like
that's
watch
dope.
his film. Like it was so sick, dude. And I just remember like seeing Chad at Sundance premiere to a sold out crowd, seeing Dan's film sold out. Like I just remember that energy being like, I want that. That's what I'm chasing. Like I want this. Like, you know, like this is so cool.
Right.
You know, this is what this is like. I'm like literally talking about it 15 years later. That's how cool it was, you know? So like Dan sent me an article yesterday actually, and it was about like why feature film directors don't make a second film. I think it's from like, is it Rain Dance Org? I think that's a festival, right?
Sundance?
Rain Dance?
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, it was some whatever. It's some website that he sent. Okay. Yeah, raindance.org.
Oh, Rain Dance, okay.
Yeah, Rain Dance, yeah. Which I thought was a film festival, but who knows? So, and it was like, one of the notes were like, you know, don't think about it as, like, think about movies not as like one-offs, but as like series. Think of your career as a series. Like, where would you like to be, you know? And I think that's where I'm like been going at now. It's like, all right, yeah, when you make your first feature, you're just praying it gets done. You know what I mean? I know so many people who, man, it just didn't work out. You know, to be honest, like me and my cinematographer, we tried to make a movie once before and it failed. Straight up. Like we got about halfway through, man. You know?
What was the failure with it? Just like no more funding for it? That didn't have the funds?
We had shot half of it, and I think what happened was I think we weren't ready. We shot a lot of it in Pittsburgh. We couldn't get this one critical role we couldn't get casted in time.
Gotcha.
And then we were living in LA at the time. So it was just like, okay, well now to make it, and then it was a whole thing. And then it was just kind of like a slow falling out of the process. And then it was just like, oh, like I don't even, you know, like what happened? I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, and it was one of those things where it was like, don't worry, we'll do one next year. And then
next year turns into 2 years, and then 15 years. Yeah.
It'll take 15 years, you know?
Yep.
So, one of the things is like, you're just trying to get it done, and then you're trying to make a good movie, and you're trying to get people to see it. You're trying to get distribution, you know, you're trying all those things. And you're like, look, everyone wants to premiere at Sundance, get that check, and you're good. Right. And it happens to some people. It happens. You know what I mean? But it doesn't happen to everyone.
Yeah.
So like I've come to the place with this film where like I am so proud of it. I'm so proud of all the hard work we did, everyone. And I do think it's really good, man. I really do, on a personal level. But obviously this film's not going to make me rich. So it's like, okay, so now how do I get, you know, now my legacy is thinking like, okay, I want to make the next 2 or 3 films be so good that people go back to the first one and go back and watch Above the Clouds. They're like, dude, wait a minute, hold on. You know, John made this film for $100,000. He shot it in 12 days. You know, like he had to kickstart this. You know, like, dude, that's insane. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where I'm at now. I hope in 5 years I have maybe. I'd love to get like 2 more by then. You know, I've got one that I think I can shoot fairly easy. You know, it's a very smaller type film, and then there's like a couple that I'm brainstorming, and hopefully, hopefully I'm on like my 2nd or 3rd film by then. You know, or at least in it, and then to be at a place where people are like looking back to the old stuff, being like, whoa, okay. I see what he was doing there, you know, like, oh wow, like a lot of the little connections, a lot of the like deeper meanings in there, maybe it'll come. So
Yeah.
basically, and look, I'd still love to be at the job I have if I can. Like, I love going to the Super Bowl. I love going to all these events, but you never know. You never know, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, as long as, honestly, I'd love to keep making films. I think I'm good at it. I think, like I said, I wasn't going to ever do it again after the first one, but I feel like I did a good enough job that I should try again, And then maybe if the next one sucks, then I'm like, all right,
I'll go back to the.
Yeah. I'll do something else. I'll figure something out. I'll make music. I'll write books. I'll do something. But
Yeah.
I hope I'm still doing it. I hope I still care, and I hope I still am like making stuff that, like, the best compliment I got while making it was people being like, dude, the one thing I appreciate about your film, like, that was a Jon Hill film. Like, that was your voice. Like, that's like, if you look at all the other stuff I would do, you're like the Channel 101 stuff. Like whenever I tried to do the super comedy thing, I just wasn't as good as it. But anytime I did one about a guy who was trying to date a girl and got broken up, that was my best stuff.
That was your best stuff. Yeah.
That was my best stuff. So it's like for people to be like, oh, like, all right, you're still doing you, that'd be great. So
right.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. It was great talking with you. You're a wealth of knowledge, a lot of different experiences that you can tap into, not just cinema, but I mean everything with Fox Digital Sports and everything. So I really appreciate that. So at the end here, just plug whatever social media you might use, and obviously plug your movie too. I'm giving you the floor to plug what you need to plug.
Yeah, man. I would say this. Look, Sean, thank you so much, man. Like, I think it was so cool to just, like, hit up a complete stranger on Reddit, and the next thing you know, I'm like, on his podcast. Like, I think that's great, man. I appreciate you letting artists come in and talk and share and because, like, sometimes I need that. You know what I mean? Like, it's the indie film world can be a very lonely thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing you do learn after. It's like, hey, the movie's done. Someone watches it and they're like, great job, dude. I'm gonna go back to F1. That one has Brad Pitt. And you're like, okay, cool. So I appreciate that. Yeah, man. And if anyone is looking for a film kind of like, Before Sunset, Past Lives, very much, the story of, like, for me being Asian American, being Thai, my wife being Korean, like, there's a lot of things like that. Very much wanted to talk about a very specific lived experience and something that's universal, like loss. Like, there's, like, it sucks, man. Like, there's just like, I don't know what people think you have the answers now. Like, someone's mom dies and they're like, shouldn't you say something? I'm like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'll tell you this thing. I tell the same thing I said in the movie. Yeah, it hurts for a really, really long, and then it gets a little better, and then that's it. There's no, like, there's no magic. No one came to me and said, like, oh, did you know? And then I would go, oh, great. Oh, wow, it's weird. I was sad about my dad dying, but Sean sent me a text and now I feel fine about it. Like, no,
right.
Like, it just sucks, man. But there's a lot of people that experience that, and, there was no book for me about what it's like to lose a parent.
Right.
And know what to do. So hopefully this can be that book or that movie, like, look, if you, I can get you to laugh for 90 minutes and then walk away being like, you know what, I'm still really sad about this loss, but at least I was able to see something funny about it. Like, I'm not the only one that went through this. Then I think that's a great goal. So, just look for Search Above the Clouds on Amazon. There's an older version. Someone else has that name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw it on IMDb. There were a couple, but Amazon, I guess, has one of them then.
Yeah, just find the newest looking one that has Jon Hill and two people on bikes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And then as far as social media, you can find me on Instagram somewhere. I do this thing where I change my name every time I post, so you really can't find me.
Yeah.
It's this dumb bit I started doing, so I can't tell anyone my name because it changes every time. But it's usually J Hill _ the something king. So if I'm making the movie, it's the Cloud King. If I'm making food, I post like it started because I became the Pasta King. You know,
Nice.
If I'm riding a bike, I'll be like the Cycle King. Like it's stupid.
Was that before the Pussy King? And
That's how I got it.
yeah, okay, that's how you got it. It was from that. Okay.
So the funniest thing is, I remember I once made pasta. I do cook a lot. I'm a pretty good cook, and I posted some pasta, and I called myself the Pasta King.
That's
And
so
Sean,
funny.
I have never in my life, even to this day, this movie I had 2 sold out screenings when it came. I've played in in a Regal that I watched Black Panther in. You know, like it was like I've done it all. It doesn't matter. I got 2 Emmys sitting behind me. It doesn't matter. The only thing people know me as is the Pasta King. That's all. Like that'll be at my funeral. They will be like, the Pasta King. It's like I'm not a real chef, you know. So then
I love that.
That was
the Pasta King. That's great.
It's a great name. It's a great name. And then so when I was thinking about the movie, and I was like, let's do like some kind of like, let's make this a comedy. And I was like, what if we named the cat the Pussy King?
Right. About the cat, yeah.
And it just works. It just works. Yeah. I try to take the dumbest things in my life and make them part of other people's lives. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
The somebody king. That's
the
that's
podcast
how
king.
the podcast. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
This was great. And loved Above the Clouds. That final monologue, that's my favorite part, hands down. I absolutely love great monologues are like one of my favorite things. I love Mike Flanagan movies, and he always has a great monologue somewhere in his projects. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, man. Let me shout out Chris Labadie for playing the lead Jay, and then Kyun Kim for playing Danny. 2 incredible actors, and Chris killed it. The best part of that was our friend Lindsay, who played an extra in the party scene. She goes to Dan, the producer, and goes, "Wait a minute, is that guy supposed to be John?" And Dan's like, "Yeah," and he goes, "John ain't that good looking."
That's funny. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's another tip. If you're writing a movie about yourself, cast a really hot dude to play you. Then
yeah.
That's it.
There you go.
Sorry, they don't lie in Hollywood.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? Just own it. Be like, yeah, no, that's me. What do you mean? What do you mean? They're hotter than me. We're the same. Like, what do you?
Well, I mean, he's young. Yeah, that was me in my 20s.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Man. Have a great day.
All right, man. Appreciate you.